Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today we've got a battle of brewing between some of the strongest unique units in the game in the hands of two of the most capable players of the game, as Mr. Yo, playing as the Lithuanians in blue, gets ready to take on Hera, playing as the Turks in red. Now while the players herd their herdables explore their immediate enclosed off surrounding, because as you can see we are on Fortress. We'll take a look at the map in a second and try to go up to Feudal Age, most likely Castle Age as well, as fast as possible. Why don't we take a look at the map and then take a look at the civilizations we will be watching today. Now, this is Fortress, not exactly Arabia, not exactly Arena, a hybrid of a few different maps. If you notice in the beginning, every player spawns with 10 villagers, a castle, which generally means once we hit Castle Age, we will get to see a lot of battles, a lot of action between the unique units of the players. In this case, the Janissary. In that case, the Lattice, as Hera leaves his base to explore the map. And if you notice, we also start with a barracks and a bunch of towers. Oh, wait a second. No, he's not going to explore the map. He's going to pull the boar. That's one thing you'll notice in Fortress, is that you will see a lot of... What? Okay, yeah, I mean, you won't see a lot of that, but you'll see a lot of scout action pulling in boars. By the way, if you don't know why that boar died so freaking quickly, or why the scout died so quickly, take a look at the attack bonuses of a boar. Cavalry +3, camel +8, and literally anything and everything has an attack bonus against eagle warriors. So Hera, having lost his scout, okay, first blood prize here going to Mother Nature, as the wild boar tusks Hera's scout straight to hell. In any event, you do start the game with 5 farms, a barracks, I think 3 or maybe 4 houses. My eyes weren't that quick, but the funny thing about Fortress is definitely you want to keep an eye out on the location of towers, because sometimes they spawn. Everyone, by the way, starts with 4 towers. They spawn hilariously, sometimes like this in the middle of a patch of forest, sometimes over here guarding against... Your guess is as good as mine. Something coming from the ether. Oh man, Mr. Yo, 2 towers in the back, and oh man, the 4th one blocking the gate. I think I saw Hera's very quickly were much better placed. I mean, there's one here defending the extra gold out front. You have 2 in the forward position, and then 1 off to the side. So in terms of location of towers, our Turk light years ahead of our Lithuanian, who again has 2 towers literally guarding against a Protoss invasion from the empty space behind, I guess, the edge of the world. You go over here, you fall off the great turtle's back, I guess, into nothingness. But in any event, let's take a look at the civilizations a little bit later than usual, but better late than never. The Lithuanians, a civilization that focuses on their heavy cavalry. Their knights, their cavaliers, their paladins all get a free attack boost for every single relic that they collect, all the way up to a maximum of +4 attack for 4 relics. Now, this feature also applies to their unique unit, the Lattice. This is a cavalry unit that actually ignores enemy armor, making it one of the deadliest units in the game. Now, to gather relics to get this free attack boost as fast as possible, Lithuanian monasteries do work 20% faster. And to support their cavalry on the battlefield, Lithuanian spearman line units and their skirmishers not only move faster, but can also be upgraded to get extra pierce armor, which may come in handy. We'll see the direction of the game that Hera decides to go in. Now, to build a robust economy to support their military endeavors, each Lithuanian town center provides 100 food for free, which is why some of you eagle-eyed viewers will have noticed that Mr. Yo started the game with 100 more food than his opponent. And their settlements can be harder to raid because they can upgrade their town centers to have extra range, +3 to be specific, which does make them outrange a lot of mangonels in the game, although less of a less relevant upgrade technology, unique, whatever the hell you want to call it, in a map like this where the bases are enclosed. Speaking of random nonsense, which I guess I'm speaking about now, what the hell do you even do with this? I guess you can garrison some units inside behind that closed gate. In any event, the Turks, speaking of civilizations that can snipe anything that's hidden here behind that gate, let's take a look at the Turks, a civilization built around their love of the boom boom, the gunpowder, the brown, whatever you want to call it. Their gunpowder units are created faster, they have extra HP, they come with cheaper technologies, and some of their units can be upgraded to have extra range. Now, staying on brand, the unique unit of the Turks is the Janissary, a more expensive but less accurate hand cannoneer with more HP, a better attack, and more armor, but no bonus versus infantry, which may be problematic if our Lithuanian decides to throw in a few of those spearmen I was mentioning. Now, to support their heavy but expensive units on the battlefield, the Turks can field some pretty cool supporting units. To start with, their scout line units come with extra pierce armor. Not that I really expect that to be a big issue against the Lithuanians. Their cav archers can be upgraded to get 20 extra HP, which is a 40% increase. And their scout line units automatically upgrade to light cavalry and then automatically to hussars once the Turk reaches Castle Age and Imperial Age, which does give them access to top of the line light cavalry units immediately without having to wait for those upgrades to be researched. Now, in order to afford these heavy gunpowder units, which we know are pretty damn gold intensive, Turkish gold miners do work 20% faster. They get chemistry for free, and the upgrades I just mentioned from Scout to Light Cav to Hussar does save the Turks about 1,300 total resources, of which 650 of that is gold. So man, oh man, do the Turks come with some pretty strong gold-related economic features, as Mr. Yo, by the time I finish my Civ intro, is already in Castle Age. Now remember, the second they hit Castle, they do have a castle, which means that they can start training the unique units, which is why my intro mentioned the latest taking on the Janissary, because generally on Fortress, you get to see a lot of the unique units. Now, Mr. Yo, interesting, opting to take a bit of a risk here with his third town center. Second one very forward here with his gold. Might regret that if our Turk goes heavy on the gunpowder, although for now, Hera not really going heavy on anything other than 28 villagers. He's still a minute away from Castle Age, but this town center, nice. He's going to get the stone. I wonder why he chose to take the external stone first and not the internal one here. I guess this is a better location in terms of wood. Who knows? Now, usually Fortress follows the same three-part meta as Arena, where the players rush up to Castle Age, then they fight over these relics, these gravity and physics-defying relics. And then once the relics have been picked up, we enter stage 3, where the players build their big armies. We always have fun seeing who will be the first one to step out onto the map. Now, we know for now it's Mr. Yo, but I mean military stepping out, not civilian town center stepping out, as his scout has found 2 relics. We know Hera has seen jack nothing. Now, unfortunately for our Lithuanian, 1 relic, 2 relics, 3 relics are right next to the Turkish base. So we'll see how badly he wants these relics and how badly he wants to contest them. Although I say 3-part meta, Mr. Yo's not really following the 3-part meta because I don't see a monastery. But what I do see is our Turk. Oh, mamma mia. He is heading straight into Imperial at the 13-minute mark of the game. Download this game. Watch Hera's mechanics. Watch his early game villager allocation if you want to learn how to hit Imperial Age at the 16-minute mark of the game. There you go. Only on an enclosed map like this can something this bonkers happen. Or maybe on an open map if you know your opponent is not going to be very aggressive. But speaking of aggression, our Turk with this heavy hitter, 17 damage per shot, is heading across the map. Does he even know where his opponent is? I mean, you can kind of guess that he's in this general area. I mean, we can see all these weird squircles here and circles and whatever. But Hera is making an educated guess, choosing to go this way. He notices a patch of forest, and soon he's going to see some stone walls that are going to absolutely reinforce his decision to move out this way. More and more Janissaries, a villager joining in as well. What are you here for? You have no stone. Hera sold his stone so he could go up to Imperial ASAP off the back of the usual blacksmith market to get to castle. And then, like I said, because there's a castle already up, this map is just full of fun little twists and quirks like that. And okay, it's going to be a siege workshop, most likely, for bombard cannons. But the latest is here. He sees the Janissary. So on the one hand, you have a unit with 100 HP that attacks on a 13 and does 13 damage, because remember, the latest ignores enemy armor altogether. Then you have a 17 damage unit fighting against the unit with 1 pierce armor, so 16 damage. But this unit only has 44 HP, but Hera's already up to 10 Janissaries. Mr. Yo's got 3 Lechi. I don't think they can really engage into that many Janissaries. And yep, I was right. It is for a bombard cannon. Remember, the Turks do get chemistry for free, which means they hit the frickin' ground running. Man, oh man, do they hit the ground running in Imperial Age. Immediate upgrade to Hussars, immediate availability of gunpowder. And one dead villager here. Looks like Hera has gotten 2 kills. The scout and a villager. And he's here. He's putting on some pressure. What is Mr. Yo doing behind this? He's 21 villagers ahead. And I'm going to say what I always say when there's this massive a disparity in villager count and economy size. There is a very much a clock on Hera. I don't think he can schlep this out. He needs to get some critical damage done. He needs to bust into this base. Now, luckily for him, he's got one of the most busting civilizations out there. The most busty, if I can use that word, gunpowder units with the bombard cannon and its crazy plus 200 attack bonus against buildings, plus 40 against stone defense like these walls. This basic gate. Let's see what he can do. Okay. So I thought this was going to be a very exposed town center, and Hera proves me right. I'm not sure, Mr. Yo, why he built this town center here, knowing that his opponent is the Turks. You know, your opponent's not going to show up with 5 hussars attacking these walls. He's going to show up with some kind of ranged unit, especially since everyone starts with a castle. You know you're going to face Janissaries, and Mr. Yo has been breached, but he's preparing a welcoming committee here. 9 Laichai. 9 Laichai can take this. Okay, 8 Laichai can take this. 7 Laichai. He deletes a few of his walls. Oh no, okay. As long as the Laichai can close, they should be able to carve this army up like a Thanksgiving turkey. That being said, Hera's doing a fantastic job, and does he have enough? Yeah, he has enough units to one-shot these Laichai, especially since they're injured from the volleys that missed. I thought those Laichai were going to do a whole lot better. Man, oh man. That was a pretty uneven fight. What the hell? Laichai, get your shit together. I thought they were going to do so much better. Wheelbarrow when the Turk has breached your base. Now, Mr. Yo has a decision to make here. Do you double down on castle? Do you go up to Imperial? His choice. 4 villagers and a Latus being trained. There are 3. There will be 1 popping out. Our Turk doubling down on the gunpowder. So both players opting to do meme builds as a Lithuanian monk bites the dust. Our Lithuanian is now mining gold over here. Now, luckily for our Lithuanian, Hera's map vision is absolutely terrible. He knows where Mr. Yo is. He knows the easiest path of attack. And now Mr. Yo is getting a little bit fun here. He is trying to pick off reinforcements. He probably says to himself, I cannot engage with 3 Laichai into this massive ball of now a dozen Janissaries, but what I can do is chase down the reinforcements, and with only 44 HP, a unit that attacks on a 15 now only needs 3 shots of the lance, 3 pokes of the long sticky thing, and the Turkish units are going to die unless he gets converted. Oh, the Janissary, I mean, that was hilarious. He just missed. He was right in his face and he still missed. And now Mr. Yo's main OG town center comes under attack. It looks like there's even more Laichai here. One going after the monk, one going after the villager to the right. Another monk pops out at probably the worst time. No, it's a scout. Okay, you don't need a Laichai to go after Latus to go after a monk. Who actually does more? Who actually kills a monk quicker, a scout or a Latus? Maybe a light cav. So the scout needs 3 whacks. I think the Latus needs 2 only, right? Because now he attacks on a 15, so a 30 HP monk. So the Latus is stronger at killing monks than a scout, but definitely not, I guess, the same as a light cav, 2 whacks of the sword. Mr. Yo continuing to marshal his forces, continuing to be annoying. Bye, scout cavalry. You have outlived your purpose, your usefulness. Oh, and now he's going to try to sandwich him in the back. Party in the front. Let's see it, but he himself gets sandwiched. A disaster here for Mr. Yo. He's definitely going to lose one of these Latus. Laichai to a conversion. Does manage to get the monk, though. A lot of very fun small engagements so far as Mr. Yo tries to stem the tide of these never-ending Janissaries. Are there still a dozen here? Yes, there are. So he's done a fantastic job because 10 minutes ago there were a dozen, and now there's still a dozen. Okay, of course, I opened my big yap, and now there are 16. So for about 10 minutes, Mr. Yo did a fantastic job getting all of the reinforcements that were coming in. And to be fair, Hera's doing an amazing job here. 2 town centers are down. Emergency mill here. I don't know why Mr. Yo thinks he can harvest these farms or till these fields. You're not going to be able to do that with a force of Janissaries standing right here. What is this, a joke? Mysterio's going to lose a whole bunch of villagers, relying perhaps on the absolute dog shit accuracy of the Janissary. Was it 50%, I think? Yeah, 50%. They are much more inaccurate than the hand cannoneers, who I can never remember if they are 75 or 65%. I think 75. And let's see what happens here. Okay, we've got the Lechai are now moving in. They are a little bit injured, but now there's a lot more of them. Now there's 14. Although we saw 10 get gunned down. Ooh, good BBC attack round there. Mysterio deletes his own blacksmith. He surrounds the... Okay, now the Janissaries are basically dead. We'll see how many Lechai they can take with them. So far, it's 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 Lechai for all of that Turkish forward position. And okay, Hera for a second looked like he was about to retreat, but is he done? Are we done? No, he's got 9 Janissaries, a bombard cannon, 5 monks on the way. So Mysterio doing his usual meme build, choosing a single unit, deciding what the hell to do, and just charging in with that unit. Hera originally looked like he was doing the same thing, but now he's just building an overall comprehensive gunpowder army. There's devotion. So now those Lechai are going to be a little bit harder to convert. Castle. Oh, Mr. Yo gets stopped at 38.72%. Not to get too specific about it. He does have another castle already up. Another town center. Mr. Yo's economy is now 26 villagers ahead. Okay, decides to cancel the castle. He has enough stone for 2 more castles, basically. Hera just now getting a second town center. I mean, if you've been putting the pedal to the metal the entire game, why are you now slowing it down to build up your economy? Now is not the time to do so. We'll see if it pans out for him as he picks off yet another villager. 10 dead Lithuanian villagers and 1 converted. I mean, Mr. Yo needs to be careful here. This base accuracy of 50% is absolutely terrible. I mean, I make fun of a Rambai with their 20 and 30% base accuracy, but 50% is pretty damn shitty too. And look at this. Look at this Mr. Yo with a sneaky... Oh, never mind. Okay, now a sneaky. I'm surprised he's building it this close to the monastery. Hera will see it the second it starts getting built here. A very sneaky side castle here. He does not want any reinforcements. I love this out of Mr. Yo. A fantastic lesson so far. Whether he wins or loses, a fantastic lesson about how to make sure your opponent cannot replenish their forces here. And now Hera has to retreat because, of course, there's a castle going up right in his center position. Monastery is getting taken down. Okay. He's gonna lose a latest or 2. Oh, he's gonna lose this villagers. Oh my god, 82%. We have yet another bonkers situation where a castle may or may not go up. 88, 89, 90. Oh, right click like a madman. No, 94.69%. But the Lechai swarm over this. What an absolute bloodbath. It looks like a whole bunch of conversions here. Oh man, I'm sorry I missed that. We'll go back at the 31-minute mark and take a look at what the hell happened there. That looked like an epic battle there. I was so tunnel visioned on this castle because of course it's at 95%. And now Hera needs to retreat. Will he? How far will he go? He's definitely going to lose all of these Janissaries. Surprised that he's reinforcing with these, with more and more here. There's 4 more. He still just has the 1 castle. He's still down villagers, but now not as serious as before. Now just down 17. And there you go. There you have it. Wow. Okay. So several factors combining here to force a GG out of Hera, losing yet another army. And then seeing with his vision that there are villagers here about to complete the castle, knowing that it's up to 95%. And another flanking castle. I mean, Mr. Yo's placement of these castles is just absolutely fantastic. You might be wondering why he's not placing one right in the center. Number one, harder to build because everything will pop out from Hera and it's right in the path of attack. Here, at least there's a few forests blocking the way of the Janissaries. It's off to the side. If Hera's focused on this one, you can then pivot to build this one and it's not very central or exposed. Those are just my thoughts. Loses the battle. I want to see what happened here. I don't know if we actually did catch that or not. I was so... And by the way, look at this. 13 village. I mean, Hera doesn't see this. We do, because we're lucky with the God's Eye caster view. But wow. So you have an army of 13 Lechai taking on, ignore the bombard cannon, 5 monks. So 13 Lechai taking on 5 monks. 4 conversions going down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here is the power of conversion. Before you had 13 to essentially 3 monks, right? So it's a 10 unit difference. Now you've got 9 to 7, which is a 2 unit difference. Because what I always like to say, and sorry if I sound like a broken record, any conversion is a 2 unit swing. You lose 1, your opponent gains 1. And so the difference in army count, sorry, I had to mute my mic there to cough. The difference in army count went from 10 difference to 2 difference, even though we only converted 4 units. This is just a perfect example of the power of the frickin' monk. And ultimately, I mean, even with the 4 converted Lechai, they're not going to take on 9 Lechai, especially with the reinforcements from the left, reinforcements from the right. And holy moly, that was an absolute epic game. But Hera's initial push. And by the way, Mysterio only has 2 relics. 2 relics and forging means these guys should be on a +3. There you go. Didn't go after these other relics. Did he even see the other relics? No, he didn't. So he saw the 2, I guess, that were closer to his base, but it's very unfortunate. I guess not really unfortunate. He still won the game. That he didn't see these relics. This is so sour. It's literally the next tile over. What an absolutely epic game, and what a lesson. Several fun lessons here. You want to rush your ass up to a 16-minute Imperial Age? Just follow Hera's build order here, his game plan, especially on an enclosed map like this. Find the game, download the game, watch the game, study the game, the tapes, like all good professional athletes and mathletes and gamers do. Number 2, the King of Holds. 1 town center down, 2nd town center down, undeterred, 18 dead villagers, undeterred. Continues expanding to the side, continues expanding to the side. Now, how much of a role did Hera losing his scout here play? I'm not too sure. Because his scouting, like I said, is absolutely terrible. This is not a typical Hera scouting. If this was any other game where that scout survived with Hera, he would have seen everything. So he would have potentially have seen some of this. He would have potentially seen some of this. Not that it's really going to help him with this very... I mean, Mr. Yo always... I'm always surprised. He does not shy away from these bonkers wall-offs, although I think this is open, which he probably deleted so he can get these villagers out. Because, yeah, they're not coming out through this gate and this forest. Not yet a thing in Age of Empires to traverse a forest, but wow, fast Imperial, amazing hold. And then on top of that, cutting off the reinforcements was epic for a long, long time. Hera's army, powerful as it was, insanely DPS as it was stuck at a dozen Janissaries and that bombard cannon or 2. And it was just stuck at that because Mr. Yo was over here picking off any reinforcements. And because Hera had to... or didn't have to because he chose to rush up to Imperial. It comes at a cost. Age of Empires, one thing that I suspect a lot of lower elo or maybe new players need to really internalize is that nothing's free in this game. This game is like a small window into life. Nothing's ever free. If your opponent hits Imperial at the 16-minute mark of the game, you best believe they cut corners somewhere and their economy looks like absolute shit. And that's exactly what Hera's economy looked like. He was on 1 town center when Mysterio was on 3. He was down at one point 26 villagers. He's still down 18 villagers, even though he sniped 18 of his opponents. And so everything comes at a cost. Your opponent is pushing you into here. Just pivot the other way around. Nothing in Age of Empires is free. Your opponent will never have Imperial Age while you're in Castle with about 1 billion things and units and this and that. at the 16-minute mark of the game. And because of that, Hera couldn't even build, although I suspect he probably wanted to, a castle of his own here to get rid of Mysterio's defender's advantage, because look how far his Janissaries have to go. I'm not going to scroll. I'm going to zoom out. Look how far the Janissaries have to walk. And they are not Lechai. They do not have a horse. They are not of the equestrian class. They are of the Janissary class of bipedal, slow-moving, heavy gun-carrying infantry. Although infantry, not really. A gunpowder ranged unit, let's call it that. But Hera cut corners, got to Imperial, didn't have the stone. He sold his stone, couldn't put down a castle. And so everything in Age of Empires is a trade-off. It is ultimately a game of economics at the end of the day. How do you spend your scarce resources? But rant over. Let's take a look at the stats. Even though it was a fairly short game, 32.5 minutes is not very long, but man, was it action-packed. I should say 32 minutes not long on Arabia, for example, but on an enclosed map where you start with 10 villagers, a castle, a barracks, farms, houses, etc., 32 minutes is pretty damn long. And Mysterio, I love that he doubled down on Castle Age. I love that his unit... Now, he was lucky that his opposing counter unit was the Janissary and not something like the Boyar or the Cataphract or even a heavier tank, a Woad Raider or a Teutonic Knight, something with more than 44 hit points. Because now he just needs 3 attacks and this Janissary is done. Whereas the Janissary 17 we saw, now he's got 3, so 14 attack against 120 HP is what, like 8 or 9? 9 shots needed? And they attack much, much slower. 3.5 second delay to the usual 1.9 of cavalry. So Mysterio had the, how do I put this? Not luck that he could double down in Castle Age, but he had the opportunity to do so because Hera wasn't training very HP intensive units. So he didn't really need elite Lechai. He didn't really need 4 relics, even though he got 2. He didn't really need all the frills. He just needed the base unit and he needed to maneuver it around perfectly. And that is exactly what he did. 52 Lechai to 50 Janissaries, PKPM, middle of the game, PKPM towards the end of the game. Hera slipping a little below his usual 2 to 300. Economy, yeah, there you go. Look at that. That's a 25% bigger economy. All of the resources except for gold. Holy shit. Holy moly, did our Turk mine that gold. But there you go. There's that Turkish bonus. Even without the 20% faster gold mining. I mean, take away 1,800 of this. You still have a massive, massive lead over your opponent. Conversion 7 out of 57 is more than 10%. So that's not bad at all. And those were almost all Lechai, with the exception of that one red villager that we saw here who got converted, unless I missed some other conversions. But that was absolutely epic. A fun game, 70 kills to 54. But Hera, a third, almost exactly a third of the kills that he got were villagers, whereas Mysterio was all military. And now Hera's base is open. His army is dead. His center position has been overrun. And with the bonkers Lechai, it is Mysterio who, with the fancy moves against the fancy moves of his opponent, I honestly, download this game, watch it. I am incredibly impressed by both players in this game. But ultimately, zero-sum game. There has to be a winner. And in this particular matchup, it is Mysterio who is victorious. But GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.